Obviously, proud of the work they've done this year. Wasn't good enough. The only team that's going to be happy is the team to win the Super Bowl. To start the little things right starts with the off season. Once they come back from break, we got to build it up from ground zero once again. A lot of guys in that room, free agents. Be lying if we say we're going to keep everybody or everybody's going to stay for whatever reason. It's going to be turnover. So when they come back, just understand we're starting from ground zero. We got to do the little things right to start the season all over again. We're not going to pick up where we left off. And proud of the effort, proud of the organization, the people in the building, from the general manager to the scouting department, equipment, trainers, everybody, nutritionists, the whole gang. We just got to do a better job coaching, better job playing, making plays at the little time, coaching it right the best time, and just come back with a chip on our shoulders.
What is up, Bucs fans? Welcome back to Real Bucs Talk. As you heard, Coach Todd Bowles talking about the 2024 season and how it came to abrupt end for the team, and just stating that this team has to come back with a chip on its shoulder. And I agree with that. I think, you're proud of the effort, but obviously the results were not what the Buccaneers wanted. You would like for them to still be playing this weekend as I record this video, but didn't happen. As you see there on the screen, lost to Washington. And overall, you look at the season again, start fast, like they did in 2023, starting 3-1, and then the slide starts to happen just like it did the previous year. You fall to 4-6, and then Buccaneers were able to find a way to win down the stretch and get 6 out of the last 7 games, finishing at 10-7, and then going into the postseason and unfortunately falling short. So kind of just want to break it down, overall look at this team and what they were able to accomplish this season, and what is the outlook moving forward for the franchise. When you look at the numbers, as you see here, offensively, I think it was a good year. I think the biggest thing with the offense was the inconsistency of execution, and that's what Todd Bowles talks about, the little things, and that is something that you hope improves in 2025, and especially if Liam Cohen does return as offensive coordinator. But you have to be proud of the numbers and production that they did put up. They were top 5 in most categories. They were, top in scoring points per game. Did a lot of good things. Baker Mayfield had a career season. The running game came to life. I think that's the biggest takeaway from the offense, with the addition of Bucky Irving, his ability to run the football, the offensive line, the new weapons in the receiving game with Cade Otton stepping up, Jalen McMillan stepping up late. So you have to be proud of that. The way Chris Godwin was playing in the first half of the season. So you hope to have those pieces back, and hopefully they can build on that. And then the storyline for the defense was really so many injuries. Your starting secondary didn't really play barely any snaps together. It seemed like when they were on the field, some new injury happened. So it was just an injury riddled season on that side of the ball. But also, I think it showed there was deficiencies in the scheme. There was deficiencies in personnel and depth. So that is definitely going to be talked a lot about this offseason, as far as what can this team do to add more to the defensive side of the ball. I think that's going to be important. But your standouts on defense, I think Vita Vea, Levante David, I thought played solid. There was upcomings in Zion McCollum. I think Christian Izien did some good things when he was healthy. There was great signs from Tyke Smith. Yaya Diaby, I thought, took some steps forward. Even Logan Hall, got to give him some credit, finishing with 5.5 sacks. Kalijah Cansey, again, I think took some more steps forward. But those are your key players I think you have to look at, to build on. But right now, you look at Kalijah Cansey, Vita Vea as your top 2. Antoine Winfield, I think, will bounce back because, again, he just suffered with so many injuries, which was unfortunate. but they got to get some more pieces to build on around them and support them. I think that will be important. But I think when you look at the takeaways, three main things came up for this team, and I think it's a reason why they fell short. So offensively, it came down to execution, mainly turnovers, fumbles, interceptions that hurt, and just pre-snap mistakes, whether that's penalties or not finishing a play here or there. That cost them, I think, consistently throughout the season, and we saw that come up in the postseason. And then defensively, the biggest issue was being able to tackle consistently and get off the field. I think that was the biggest problem. And then not being able to create turnovers. They only had 7 interceptions as a team. So your inability to force or create more havoc plays on defense definitely was one of the main issues why the team was up and down throughout the year. So overall, a lot of positives, but the negatives were just too great to overcome when you look at this team. But there is still a bright future ahead because you have, young pieces like Bucky Irving. I mean, just showing how far they came, especially with a rookie center in there who Graham Barton should take more steps to be better in 2025. And they have a really solid group to work with, especially on the offensive side of the ball. So that was encouraging. And then obviously with Mike Evans coming back and probably going to get Chris Godwin back as well. A lot of things to be excited about with this offense and what they can do moving forward for the upcoming season. But the big takeaway for them is just you know, there was a lot of good, but it was just usually 1 to 2 plays, maybe 3 or 4 that, ended up kinda holding them back in the losses, especially when it comes down to turnovers or just mistakes here and there. So you hope that can improve as they move forward into year 2 of the offense. And then defensively, we talked about it. They got to get, but we shall see. It's going to be interesting. When you look at the depth chart, again, you have a lot of key pieces, most likely returning on both sides of the ball. Defense, they're probably going to be more turnover than the offensive side. I think offensively, you're pretty much set. You just got to figure out some things depth wise, but and obviously figure out if Ben Bredesen's coming back as your left guard. So it will be intriguing. But yeah, I think the takeaway is the future is still bright for this franchise. And I think there's a lot of good things that this team can build off from and hopefully be a lot better in 2025. But with that said, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Be sure to hit that like button, comment down below your thoughts of the 2024 season. What are you looking forward to most in 2025? Let us know. And with that said, until the next one.